Hi everyone, today we're going to run through the Codefest challenge solution. So last week you would have started looking at this challenge type thing, and here's how you might solve it. So this is the page that you're referred to, and this is where you'll need to find the challenge itself. So the first thing you actually need to find what you need to do. You'll find that there are a bunch of things that say 1, so they kind of give you a clue that there's something in there that you can start solving. In issues, we don't really have anything. It's kind of almost like a trick to get everyone to look at the issues, but there's nothing there. The thing is actually under releases, and you'll find this zip file which contains the solution. So all you'll need to do is click on that, it'll download it, go to your folder, and then you'll need to extract it. And then you'll be asked for a password, and that is not something that is given as part of anything else. You just need to look at the name of the file, which is 89DC72. That should unzip it into your folder. Inside it, you'll find 2 DotClass files. If you've done some really basic Java programming, which would have been in the first couple of weeks of, say, a university course that we do at Brighton, then you'll know that DotClass files are the compiled Java bytecode, potentially something that you can run. And in this case, if we go to the command line and we go to the, actually this is not where it is. There we go. So if you go to where these files are located in your command line, then you're able to run them, provided that you have Java installed. Typically, it's just Java main, and I'm actually not inside this directory, so let's go inside 89DC72. You can see both of the files here. Let's try Java main. So you might see something like this. Main has been compiled by a more recent version. So this is there to make sure that you run 11 or higher. So this is an extra layer of the treasure hunt, if you will. This will only run if you have Java installed, which is version 11 or higher. You can check which version you have by typing something like this. It'll tell you, well, currently it says 1.8, so I need to switch that to 11. Or I need to run it from, say, something like this. And you can just Google Java installations, that should be fine. At the university, we use Java 11 or higher, so if you're running from university machines, that will just work straight away. Right, now let's just examine these things. It'll say, congratulations, you found the task and managed to run it. Welcome to University of Brighton Codefest 2021. I'm Codefest bot, whatever, all the kind of things. You'll now attempt to answer a series of questions. So once you go through all the questions, let me just try and increase the font so you can actually see text. Let's go for 14. Hopefully this is a bit better. Yeah, that should be all right. So before we proceed, please enter your name. Let's go with Almas, and you'll be presented with a series of questions that you need to answer. there are two ways you can go about this. You can either go the answering route and then complete all the questions, or you can start thinking, well, I'm a software developer. I should know how to decompile stuff. So do I want to answer all these questions? So there are two ways to solving this. And if you're an experienced developer, then you might just go ahead down the decompilation route and find all the answers from there, really. Reverse engineering, basically. So I say blue, you say, let's go with green. No, it is not green. Let's go with orange. So as you type your answers, the Codefest bot will tell you something related to either hints or how to proceed further. So I'll keep basically repeating various different phrases that it has hard-coded. If you're interested in building a not necessarily hard-coded type chatbot, then in a couple of weeks I'll be working on something similar. So it will use text generation and all that kind of stuff. But for now, this is reasonably simple. I say blue, you say red. Yes, it's saying the expected answer was red. Let's try something a bit more difficult this time. What's 00FF00? It's hexadecimal. You can just Google it, or you can try and guess. It's typically R, G, and B, so red, green, blue. 0 means nothing. FF means maximum, which is 255 in byte terms. And that's kind of, if you're interested in how many bits are in a byte, how much data can we store, kind of thing. So you can Google that bit if you're interested. Again, this is all reasonably simple and is focused on first-year students. So if you've done this before, then this is pretty trivial for you. And this is green, because it's red, green, blue. How many primitive data types does Java have? Now, this is not something that we would normally cover in the first weeks. We'll give you the data types like int, double, float, char, boolean, and so on. But you'll actually need to count all of these. And one of the common mistakes is to also take string into account, which is not a primitive data type because it consists of other things. It's a collection, or rather it's an array of characters, therefore it's not primitive. There are 8 primitives in Java. How many bits is an int in Java? This is a harder question because we definitely don't look at number of bits in the first year because it's not really used. But again, it's something that you can either Google or just start counting if you know your data types. It should be 32. Correct. What's the C++ equivalent of Java string? So this is definitely something that you'll need to Google because C++ is not something that we cover in the first year. And it's not just string either, because we're using the full kind of namespace plus the type, and the namespace is std : : so that's the answer. And there is a logic-driven question in there as well. So you're given hello is 2, H is 0, Brighton University as a string is 6, and goodbye is question mark. So you'll need to figure out what the bot wants you to do. And if you look at the string on the left-hand side, then you'll find that by examining a couple of things, that could be 2. It could be the L, because it's repeated. So we can see that the next one is H is 0, so there are no L's and there are no repetitions. So it could be that. Brighton University, we don't really have any L's there. I don't see any L's. And that is 6, so obviously this is not the answer. So you kind of think about what else it can be, and eventually you're going to get to the number of vowels. EO in the word hello, this gives you 2. In the word H, there are no vowels, so it's 0. Brighton University, there's an I, O, I, E, U, and there's another I, so it gives you 6. And goodbye is OO and E, so it gives you 3. Let's try 3. Yep, cool. And these are all the questions, so the bot is going to say something along the lines of, you've answered all the questions, but I'm not giving you the hint straight away. You will actually need to figure it out by yourself, kind of thing. But I will tell you that you may wish to inspect the source code for some hidden text. And what we could try and do is go inside main. You can open it in something like Notepad++, and you'll be able to see some of the answers, but not everything. So this is not text that is easy to parse manually. So by just looking at it, you may not be able to easily spot what we actually want. So what you could do is grab those .class files, copy them into your IDE, and then somewhere just drop them into any of your projects. Even at top level, that should be fine. And I'm using IntelliJ. You could use something else that supports decompilation. So we can look at that. At the top, it will say decompiled class file. Let me increase the font on this thing. And here you can see pretty much the entire source code of the bot, the chat program, and just look through it. So you can see all the questions, following by the answers as well. It's not a one-to-one copy of the source code because it's decompiled, so some of the things are quite difficult to read, but these are nicely structured methods, so you should be able to find your way around it. So you'll see hidden code, hidden text, UTF-8. Eventually you'll get to this point, and you'll see a string which contains a lot of numbers separated by a comma. So what you'll have to do is grab all of those numbers, because they are actually some hidden text in UTF-8 format, and the variable name, which has been properly decompiled this time, will tell you what it actually is. It's hidden text in UTF-8. So let's try adding just some random class, test main. We're going to use that to decompile, or rather to decrypt, if you will. It's not necessarily decrypting, it's more of just converting one format into another. That text that we've just copied, the string, is actually a data in byte format. So what we need is something like this. So I've just copied pasted it into this newly created array of bytes. You can easily spot that there are bytes because no value goes over 255. If you've done any kind of serialization, which you wouldn't have done in the first year, which is why this should be quite interesting for you to figure out, then you'll know that there is an easy conversion between strings, bytes, and so on to send data over the network, for example. And then you might construct a string from it. There should be a constructor that takes data just straight away as an array of bytes. Yeah. So this is our new string, and we can print this string to the terminal. It should be reasonably straightforward. So this is the text that you're going to get. If you're reading this text, then you must have decompiled this class. The password is these numbers. So you can see that there is an array of bytes in there again. So what you're going to do is copy that into this again, and then rerun it. And then what you're going to get is the word lightning. So that is the final thing that you needed to submit. Well, if you're a student, then that would be a competition. If you're just joining us from YouTube, then just, feel free to comment the results on the Codefest video so that people know what the actual answer is. Or they can, figure it out as well through a process that we've just looked at. So that is pretty much it for this challenge. There will be similar challenges in the future as we go through the year, through the academic year. And some of them will be teamwork based. This one was on an individual basis. And hopefully it was fun. If you have any feedback, feel free to let me know so I can adjust the difficulty as necessary and refine the challenges in the future. On that note, thanks for watching, and I'll see you later.